Woo! It's Saturday. Yes, sir, that means it's time for the Saturday morning meeting. Facebook, go find our people and bring them on in here. And boom. What's up, Thomas Thatcher? Nice to see you, Grace. I love when my customers stop in here. Larry Mullinex, Gary Pollard. Welcome to everybody. It's Saturday. And what do we love in the car business? We love Saturdays, and we're starting to love the Saturday morning meetings. So today we got a great one. It's going to deal with rebuttals, which we have constantly in retail sales. But I want to go over that. I'm going to let the audience build. I'm going to walk back to our meeting spot. But while I do, I want to thank you, everybody coming in here today. I want to thank you for all your support. These videos have become very popular because of you guys, and I appreciate it. Thanks for the support and loyalty. Please tell all your friends in your dealerships. Tell everybody. I know you want to keep me a secret, but share it because we all want to make everybody better. Now, what do I want to talk about before my meeting? Well, I want to talk about Sales Hustler Spotlight on Tuesday night. Yes, it's sponsored by the best app in the business, QuickPage. I absolutely love that video app, but who do we have on this week? Well, y'all know. We got the world record holder. We got a Guinness Book of World Record holder coming to Spotlight this week. Ali Rita. Yes, he sold 1,453 cars this year, y'all. This year. And we got a month to go. He just broke Joe Girard's 44-year record. Yes, you heard me right. 44 years. Joe Girard, probably the greatest car salesman they say ever. I didn't know him. I'm sure he is. But I'm just telling you, we got a world record holder. Ali Rita just broke his record. And I'm very proud to introduce him, his life, and his process on Sales Hustler Spotlight, Tuesday at 5:30. I think it's going to be a dynamite show. I think it's probably going to be the most watched show ever that we've ever had. And I'm very excited to bring it to you. But it's Saturday. And it's Saturday in the car business, so you know what time it is, right? You're all here for the meeting. And I'm excited to give it to you. And in the car business, what do we deal with the most? Well, we deal with rebuttals. Yes, we deal with them all the time. Okay, we deal with them when they show up, in the middle of the deal, at the end of the deal. We deal with them after they leave. We always are dealing with rebuttals. Our job is to overcome the rebuttals. And a skilled salesman never rests on learning. We have to get better every day. We have to be able to overcome things, correct? All right? So, I wanted to do a Saturday morning meeting on rebuttals. Shawn Hayes here, your car guy, Hyundai of St. Augustine. It's Saturday, and that means it's time for the Saturday morning meeting. Today, we're going to talk about rebuttals. What are the most popular rebuttals you get on a daily basis? Well, I'm going to name a few. How about, I want to think about it. Yep, that's a popular one. I want to shop around. That's a real good one. We get that a lot, right? I need the spouse. I need the wife. I need the husband. Whatever that is, we get that one a lot, right? How about I have an appointment down the road in 35 minutes, so I need to get some information quickly. These are all popular ones, right? These are all ones we deal with in the car business daily. Well, how do we overcome them? Well, you have to be smart. You have to learn your craft. You can't just handle things with every single customer the same. I want you to understand that. Every single customer you're going to run into, just like people in your life, are different. Everybody needs something different. Some guys, if you're coaching people, I'm sure coaches in the NFL will tell you this. Some need stroked. You know, they need patted on the back. Some need kicked in the butt. Some need to be talked up. Some need to be talked down. All these are different ways to treat people, to get your point across. And you, as a car salesman, need to understand people and be a chameleon and be able to guide them through the process. You can't have one word track for every single customer. It's just not going to work that way, guys. Why isn't it going to work that way? Because everybody needs something different. But I just gave you 4 examples, okay, of rebuttals. But those aren't the most important one. You're like, well, Shawn, those are important in my life. I know they're important, but you can't get to those without the most important rebuttal. The number one rebuttal you get in retail sales and the car business is, I'm just looking. You get it all the time. They get right out of the car, and what's their first instinct? I'm just looking. How can I help you? Nope, don't need anybody, right? We get that all the time. The key to this is to understand that they're not doing this because of you. They're not doing this because of any other reason other than it's a defense mechanism, or it's a trigger in our head that when somebody asks if we need something, we feel pressured and we say no. Think about yourself. When you go buy something, I'm going to speak about myself. When I go purchase something, I walk in a retail establishment, and even though I'm in the car business, when somebody approaches me and asks me if I need help, I say no. Why do I say that? I'm in the car business, right? Because that is the trigger in our mind. We don't want the pressure. We don't want somebody following us around. I tell them if I find anything, and now I'm a type A buyer. So when I go in, I usually have a mission. Okay, and if I do need information, I'll come grab the guy that approached me, and I'll buy it probably that day from them. Now, a lot of people aren't like that with me. It is more of a defense mechanism. So, how do we overcome that? Remember, you can't get to the end of the car deal without doing the first one correct. You think, well, closing's the most important rebuttal, Shawn. When I present numbers and they want to go home, that's the most important. No, it's not the most important. It is not the most important because you can't get there unless you handle the first one correctly. The just looking rebuttal, if not handled appropriately and correctly, you will never get to the other 4 rebuttals I just gave you. Do you understand? That first moment, that first meeting, that first greeting is vital to the success of a car deal. Now, can you overcome a bad intro? Yeah, you can, but it's harder. And wouldn't you want to stack the deck to your favor if you could? Well, I'm going to tell you why I think the just looking rebuttal is the number one and why you got to get good at this. Now, some people think this is easy, right? Some people have been trained old school. They just steamroll right through it, right? That's not going to work with everybody. And in fact, it's going to make you feel silly because the customer is going to approach you in an aggressive manner, and you're not going to get the car deal, okay? So remember, I said you have to be a chameleon, and you treat everybody a little bit different. So what do? Well, I'm going to tell you what I do on a just looking buyer, okay, which is the majority right off the bat, right? All right, so for number one, you have to give them time to get out of the car. All right, number one, people hate this, man, when you stand by their car or you approach the car quickly or you got a bunch of salesmen that are running to the car. The other thing, stop staring at them when they approach. Stop staring at them when they park. Stop staring at them when they sit in their car for a moment, gathering their belongings. Guys, these 2 things right there are number one. You got to give people time to breathe. You got to give people time to get out of the car, adjust their clothing, and then talk to each other and then walk. When you approach and you stand by the car, or when you look aggressive and you run to the car, or you're aggressively just staring at them while they're sitting in the car, okay, they're going to get a negative thought on you right off the bat. So you're starting your relationship right off the bat with them thinking of you in a certain way. So when I see somebody approach, guys, I'm going to give them 10 to 15 seconds to get out of the car after they're out of the car and to go kind of just position themselves where they want. Why? I just think people need time to breathe. And I feel like it's worked for me over the years. Okay? One of the things customers have always told me is they hate the vulture feeling that they get from car salesmen. So I want to be opposite of that, correct? Why do I want to play into the stereotypes? I don't. So I let them breathe a second. Now, also, if you get those customers to sit in the car for a moment. One thing my dog, which I love my dog, her name's Roxy, she's a boxer, but one trait she has that I cannot stand is when she stares at me. She sits right in front of me and stares at me. I know she needs something at that point, but my point is, customers hate that too, all right? They hate that, so don't stare at them. Glance at your phone, maybe look away, walk away, do something, keep them in your peripheral, but don't stare at them. Give them a moment to breathe. All right, I promise you that greeting you're about to have is going to be better if you use those 2 approaches. So let them breathe, okay? Give them a couple seconds, all right? And don't stare at them. Don't stand by the car, all right? Number 2, to avoid this greeting, to avoid this rebuttal that I'm about to get, okay, we know they're triggered to say, I'm just looking and I don't need help, right? So to avoid that, I want to increase my chances of them not saying that. So how do I do that? Well, never, ever, ever ask them, how can I help you? Never. Okay, don't say stuff like that. Don't say anything that they can come back with a negative thing. Okay, so I don't give them an opportunity to tell me that. I go right to them and say, hi, I'm Shawn. Welcome to Hyundai of St. Augustine. I'm Shawn. What's your name? Okay, so I don't ask them, can I help them? Because they're going to say no. I don't ask them of what they're here today. No, I automatically, okay, tell them welcome, and I greet them with a handout, tell them my name, and ask theirs. Their next response is going to be their name. Okay, their name. Then I greet both people, stand in the center mass of them. Okay, this is very key, because if you approach that with any other thing, you're going to open the door up to them saying, I don't need any help. Now, if we get that, all right, then you're going to be backpedaling. So I just want to increase my chances of them not saying it. All right, so that's all we're going to. This isn't foolproof. This isn't 100%, right? Nothing is. But all I'm trying to do is improve my chances from 80% of the people saying it to maybe 40. All right. So by me greeting them, me approaching them, me saying welcome in my name and asking them theirs, they get off track. They tell me their name automatically instead of going back, hey, we don't need any help. All right. That's very, very important. Now, if they do say, no, we don't need any help. Okay, we're okay. What do you do then? Okay, if my other things did not work, what do? Well, you got to have, plan B on this case, right? So there's 3 ways that I think you can handle this. And you have to get some word tracks in your mind that work to handle this stuff. All right. So when they say it, you have it right back. I don't use steamroll approaches to anything. Okay. I'm an education salesman. I am. I'm somebody that's going to look for the in instead of bulldoze over. That's just the way I do it. But I do everything confidently, okay? So it works for me. So here's my 3 ways. You can have the straight up approach, all right? Number 1 is just a straight up approach where you just say, what information can I provide for you today? All right? And you just, you attack it like that, all right? So, hi, welcome to Hyundai of St. Augustine. My name is Shawn. What is your name? Bill and Nancy. Bill and Nancy, nice to see you today. What information can I provide for you? All right, that's number 1. We don't need any information right now. We're just looking. I totally understand, guys. I totally understand. My job here is to provide you all the information you can get. When you leave here today, okay, I want you to be well informed on the car, educated on the dealership, and all the pricing that you want. That's number 1. That's my straight up approach. Now, that's not going to work on everybody. So you got to have a backup plan. And it's very key as a salesman to read the people. Read the people. Watch body language. Watch their eyes. Watch their motions if they turn away from you. It's very important that you read body language. If I see I just got that real mean New Yorker guy, okay, I'm going to have to handle him differently. All right, you know what I'm talking about. And I mean nothing against New Yorkers, but they're just gruff around the edges on purpose because they deal with all kinds of nonsense up there, I guess. That's what they tell me. All right, so the straight up approach. Number 2 is you might have to use humor. Humor works. Oh my gosh, does humor work? But it only works on certain types of people. So it's very important that you read the people and see if they will open up to that. Remember, humor. Humor kills somebody that doesn't want your help. They can't help it. They giggle, they laugh, they go with you. Do you know what I'm saying? And it opens that door where you can then say, guys, let me help you. All right? Do you understand? Make a joke with them, but it'll only work on certain type of people. So certain type of people, straight up approach, certain type of people, humor approach, and the third is the one I probably use the most, and I call it the M&M approach. You guys have heard that. I M&M sell probably throughout my whole process because I understand what the customer hates about a dealership, right? I'm a consumer. I've worked in the industry long enough. I've heard all their complaints. I know their complaints. So I try to take the complaints and address them before they even address them, right? So I try to take them out right off before they even have them, right? So the M&M approach is when they say, hey, we're just looking. Guys, can I ask you a question? And they say yes. It's like, look, I don't blame you. I absolutely hate going into retail shops and car dealerships just like you. I have worked in the industry long enough, and I know why you hate it. You hate the shady salesman, the slimy dealership. Okay, the approach that some salesmen have where they're aggressive and they just don't want you to leave, right? And you feel like you ask them a question and they can't give you a right answer. Is that all true? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, I totally get it. And I understand why you had that. I'm just looking. But look, I'm different. This dealership is different. And the reason I'm different in telling you this right now is because I know what not to do. I'm highly skilled. I've been here almost 11 years. I know my product. And if you let me, I promise you, you'll walk out of here today with all the knowledge that you want. Okay? The best pricing so you can make an educated decision on your decision. Will you let me help you? All right, so something to that effect. Does that make sense? The M&M approach works every time almost because I'm just playing into the stereotypes they hate, and I'm being the one that isn't like that. I do this all the time. I do it throughout the process if they don't want to take a test drive. Guys, I know why you don't want to take a test drive. You don't want to take a test drive because you think it's going to make you buy the car. But I want you to understand it's not going to. Not here at this dealership. I want to let you leave if that's what you want. But I want you to make sure that you can make an educated decision on the right car for you. And the only way you can do that is if you drive it. It's the only way you can cross it off your list. You see what I did there again? That is the M&M approach. And he did that on 8 Mile. I don't know if you all ever saw the 8 Mile movie, but that's what he did. He came out and he won that last battle by saying everything, every stereotype he was, everything he's about, right, that guy was already going to say about him. He went ahead and exposed it right from the start. It helps. It helps seal the deal. It helps calm them down. It helps bring me more into a human aspect instead of a salesman aspect. These are my approaches, guys. I hope this helped. This is Saturday, guys. You have to go in and kill it on Saturdays, right? We only get 4 of these a month. And this is December. This is end of the year closeouts. This is when we all sell a lot of cars. I put a 30 go out there for myself this month. I sold one yesterday. I've got to sell 1 or 2 today. Let's all do it. Sales hustlers, unite. Shawn Hayes here, your car guy, Hyundai of St. Augustine. I make car buying easy.